I'm Christy McDonald. Thanks so much for joining us. We're coming to you live from the parlor of the Grand Hotel. Yes, we here at Public Television have put an anchor desk, multiple cameras, lights, a great crew of people, all in the parlor of the Grand Hotel, and you can see everyone's crowding in and getting ready for a little meet and greet, handshaking, deal making, everything that happens here on Mackinac Island. And the two people who would know about deal making, handshaking, and all the inside scoop stuff, John Truscott and Kelly Rossman McKinney from Truscott Rossman. Thanks so much for joining me right now.
Glad to be here.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So how do you find the conference so far? What do you think the vibe is as a long-time conference goer?
Oh, that's interesting. This is the first year where I've seen a really significant group of folks up on the island very early on the first day.
Why do you think that is?
I think the program is a very, very robust program. There's some really neat stuff happening. I know we made a real effort to be up here in time to catch the governor and the innovation panel that Josh Linkner emceed. So I just think the vibe is actually very, very positive. And so far, I haven't missed a legislator. Have you missed a legislator?
I haven't even heard anybody talk about a legislator at this point.
Well, you were watching our coverage, John, because we Skyped to Lansing twice to get an update on the budget. So,
well, and you can see, I mean, the gathering, you're kind of right before the cocktail reception, which really does kind of kick everything off. It allows you to see who's here and kind of set up further meetings after this. And it really is kind of the ultimate kickoff, and it's the biggest, I say the biggest schmooze fest in the state. I mean, it really is. You see a lot of people, and you get a lot of work done in a very short period of time.
Okay, explain that, because people would say schmooze fest in a negative way, and we're not up there, and they're just having shrimp and cocktails up there. Why is it so important? Why is this conference actually a good thing?
You can get more business done. And when I say business, I'm talking about substantive business. You can bring people together very quickly. The folks who are behind us, they are some of the biggest, most important decision makers in the state. And they're all kind of right here in a very confined environment, confined in a good way. It's relaxed, it's informal, and people enjoy seeing each other. So it's one of those events, and there aren't very many of them, where you bring the Detroit crowd together with the Lansing crowd, and even though the legislators aren't here, pretty much everybody else is. You've got a little bit of West Michigan thrown in, and you can get a lot of work done.
Shake it all up, and it works.
From the ferry dock all the way up here, you ran into clients left and right. It's a great thing.
Everybody gets here and they kind of let their guard down. It's not like walking into a formal lunch meeting or an office, a big group. You're relaxed. It's a different interpersonal mix, and so people are a little more likely to set the follow-up meeting or to be accommodating. Or we have events coming up in the next couple of weeks. Just invited a couple people to attend our event. Great, we'll be there. And it's just simple things like that. It would take a bunch of emails and a number of phone calls to accommodate. We did it in a couple of seconds because everybody's here.
Right.
So it really is just a great opportunity for a lot of people to get a lot of things done in a short period of time.
And you know, I lied. I hate to say this. I
Kelly,
lied because let me just tell you that even though there are not state legislators here, I've already run into and spoken with two congressmen, Dan Benishek from the Upper Peninsula, and then Hanson Clark. And so this island is a great equalizer because you don't have to go through the formality of staff or anything else. It's a wonderful thing.
And it is a political year, so let's talk a little bit of politics. What are the headlines starting to pop out for you, John? Let me start with you.
You know, the headlines, I think, are around the ballot proposals, and we're working against a couple of them. There are a number of things that would institute things in the Constitution that just don't belong there. Energy policy, casino approvals, which come with liquor licenses, things that just, the Constitution is not meant to institute specific things like that. So I think coming out of this couple of days, I think that would be a big discussion. Obviously, Thad McCotter and only getting 244 signatures, what's going to happen in that district, that'll be a big discussion. Already has been today.
Now let me ask you, and Kelly, maybe you can address this. You guys have worked on campaigns, you've helped with strategy. How does something like that happen where signatures are supposed to be turned in, and to update people who aren't totally familiar, he turned in 2,000 signatures and only 244 of them were valid.
Yeah, 10% of your signatures are valid, and that's it. It's a stunningly bad piece of work all the way around. It's not clear who was in charge. It's not clear what happened. But to have a sitting congressman, an incumbent congressman, come through with such a disarray of petition signatures, and actually the conversation a week ago in D.C. and up in Michigan was a concern that John Conyers was really running behind on his signatures, and it didn't look like he was going to have enough signatures. So that had been the conversation we'd heard. Didn't turn out to be the case at all. Instead, it's McCotter, who actually at one time was planning to run for president. So now you can't get signatures? What the heck happened?
As the political world turns, so what do you think?
It is, and you know, you take your eye off the ball. A write-in campaign is almost impossible to pull off.
And isn't it? It costs you a lot of money.
A lot more money, and you have to have somebody willing to fund an almost impossible task. When there are a lot of competing races out there, it's going to be a very, very difficult and interesting one to watch how this plays out.
Let's talk just real quick. It's presidential year. Has the political discourse, has our conversation, have we gotten meaner? Has the campaign gotten uglier to you, or?
Well, sure, because it's for the most part, the conversation at the presidential level really does not seem to be all that focused on issues. The things that capture people's attention from the media on down tend to be those things that are quick hit sound bites that are easy to make fun of, easy to visualize, whether it's having your dog on the roof of your car or as a kid eating dog as a meal. I mean, these things are really short sound bites that have virtually nothing to do with the state of the economy in the United States.
Is this that we have a bad attention span, John? Or
I think the tenor of politics in general, you talk to anybody in Washington today, and neither side is talking to the other. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill were, opposed in every way, but they would still get together and get a deal done. I don't think we have the leaders right now in any leadership role, whether it be in the House, the Senate, or the White House, to really sit down and get things done. It's going to take a change to get the right people, the right mix. I think it can be fixed, but I don't think anybody's seen it this bad, at least in our lifetimes.
I was just going to say, can we even really get that back, or has it just gone so polarizing where everyone's just got to be black and white?
Go back to the 1800s and look at some of the political cartoons and commentary. It was as personal and nasty as you can get. Now it's magnified. It's all over TV and on the internet. But I think we can get back to it. We need the right people in charge to get there.
They were just missing that 24-hour news cycle, right?
We're going to do dueling pistols, apparently. We're going to go back to the 1800s.
You're going
and have
old
everybody.
School on me, Kelly.
Yeah, I like that.
Kelly Rossman, McKinney, John Truscott of Truscott Rossman. Thanks, guys, so much. You always
welcome.
make it so much fun.
Thank you.
Enjoy the conference and come back and see us, all right?
You bet.
Will do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
And you're watching live coverage of My Vote Mackinac